Good morning, everyone. I thought we'd start out with something that doesn't move, but might. So, as this market continues to celebrate the government shutdown, I think at some point these transports have to start moving to join the party. Usually, that's the theme of rotation, and what doesn't move, underperform begins to play some catch up. And so the weekly chart is still constructive. I got my alerts above and below. Didn't do much of anything yesterday. And this market has been one of some strange things. I mean, historically, market internals for the longest time, I mean, especially breadth, it's still below zero. And the S&P and the Qs are at new all-time highs. I don't, I mean, I get it not being at 100 or 200. I mean, remember, 200 is where, it's getting, okay, that's really extreme. It's below zero, which means that there's a whole lot of stocks that are doing a lot of nothing. And in part, that's why the ticks, the NYSE ticks, they don't move during the day. And I don't think I've ever seen such a thing. So, you know, environments change. I think that's one of the most important lessons as a trader, especially an intraday trader. You know, the environments change sometimes from morning to afternoon or day to day, and of course, over weeks and years. So we'll see as more sectors begin to participate, and maybe they don't. We'll see. But the ones that aren't, like look what happened with healthcare. It was news driven, of course, which is crazy. But set alerts on these that aren't moving, and maybe start to participate in those things that aren't. Um, a week ago we talked about USO down here, or crude oil being down here. And I see this is down, gapping down. I would watch this to see if it forms a gap reversal day, since it's coming down to these pivots. You see here, in the area of those pivots, to see if this reverses, because the last time it did, the energy stocks had a nice little rally. And you see they did here and here. So maybe that happens again. So there's plenty of things that look pretty darn good, others that look pretty darn terrible. But that's this market. But I'd keep an eye on some of those energy stocks, set alerts, and see, you know, if they start bringing up the rear. Something like this. It's not great, but bottoming tail bar. Where is it? Gapping down a little bit today. Probably good for definitely a put spread if there's premium, but I'd be taking a look at some of these things. Um, Halliburton usually is a mover. Right? So look at this. Energy falls. This thing goes sideways. That's relative strength. And it's got room to go up. So nice little correction bar there. And it's gapping down a little bit. So it's not taken off where you have to chase it. So, put it in a minder, put a little position on, and there's plenty of energy stocks out there to take a peek at. All right. The markets, new all-time highs, right? Shut down the government, bye-bye, right? And so yesterday started off with, a little move to the downside. It tested the prior day's low, and the hourly or 65-minute chart, that was still constructive. It had pulled back into the gap fill and once this big reversal bar. And so, this was a trending day. And this is, you can see it's still trending, but you can see yesterday there on the 5-minute chart. And now this is moving up. It's not, I wouldn't say it's totally rare, but it doesn't happen all that often when you get two wide range bar days, up days, but maybe that's in the cards today. We'll see. But be careful, as always, that this had a trending day yesterday and it's trending here pre-market. So it's gonna gap up. And you can see the cursor is up there. It's a relatively large gap, especially after a trending day. So I'd be careful with this that it doesn't start coming back in, but we'll see. And now that it's clearing that, what was resistance becomes support. So there'll be buyers in the gap fill. So maybe it goes sideways for a half hour and goes higher. But, you know, up, gapping up, would make sense not to be chasing it. IWM was another catch up yesterday after taking out the stops. Look at that, like head and shoulders top there, comes down there. And, we're looking at this in hindsight, but, you know, it did take out the stops and reversed immediately and then started going up. So, happens a lot. If it had taken it out and it didn't start to rally, it went sideways, that would have been trouble. So, it's up here this morning. You just had a little blip to the downside, coming down onto this support area. I'll be keeping an eye on this to see if it can jiggle around a little bit and go higher, especially since it's had this consolidation. I know the resistance is here, but sideways chop for a few days should be able to push up through that. The Dow could certainly be a catch-up trade. It's gapping down, and I'm putting the cursor on the 5-minute chart here where I can see these bars. And so not gapping down significantly. It's still constructive, and it's another one that, when we look to trade the futures in the green room, and some trade the leveraged ETFs, the underperformer is usually the one that begins to outperform. So the Qs have gone up, they rallied, the spiders were going up, and so this could be one that plays a little catch up. So the appropriate pattern, we'll see what that does. Yes, let's not forget SPX, which I did. So spiders are gapping up, same as the Qs, above resistance. There'll be buyers on a pullback into the gap fill, similar hourly pattern, strong move up, bottoming, rounding bottom, gap reversal and up. And so we assume it's going to go higher until it stops going higher. Shouldn't break yesterday's low for sure. And ideally, if it retraces what was resistance, becomes support. So the top of this bar, you can see where my cursor is, right on 666. Uh-oh. So that should be a pretty good support point right there, if it should come down there. All right, SPX, I'll do that, and then we'll look at a few other things. So interestingly, from I said yesterday, the downside was the no-brainer. It was just so far away. Right? And uptrend. So now that strike came up 100 points, and the upside went up 50 points. So usually they tend to move somewhat together. So that was a pretty big difference. Now this, it's gapping up a bit. I think the downside is still a no-brainer. Down there, unless some news comes out. What news could drive the market down there like that? The government open up, right? Maybe. But that doesn't seem feasible the way they're talking, but we'll see. At least this is down on a significant support point as well. So, call credit spreads in an uptrend where it isn't that far away, tends to be a little bit not in your favor. But if the market should rally and premium above a half number, which is always desirable to have premiums above half numbers and whole numbers. And so the average range has been around 50 points. So, 50 points, from here, to here would suggest it's not going up there. And you can see yesterday was 62 points. The day before was 50 points. And so being on the other side of at least that gives a little bit more in your favor as well. Interest rates, not doing too much here. We'll pull back. There was a sell setup there and pulling back. So not giving us any valuable information. I would set an alert below that bar's low and up here. Have an idea during the trading day if it starts moving. Gold continues its uptrend relentlessly. And I guess government shutdown, uh, you know, debt through the ceiling. I guess people feeling you better buy gold. So yesterday I spoke about the wide range bar. Momentum slows. And yeah, I mean, buyers keep stepping up here. Looks like it's on its way. It's far away, not 4,000, but it certainly looks like that's where it's going. We looked at USO, so crude oil is down, several days, breaking support. Whether it's USO or this, I would set an alert near the top of this range here and see if it flips up, and then we'll see what those oil stocks do. Certainly, this is short-term bearish, and the weekly looks bearish. But hey, if it pops up, they may be put spread candidates, and if we get green days, maybe it rallies again. So we'll see. Silver still looks amazing. I mean, they just continue to buy, continue to buy. There's a correction bar. Bitcoin made I don't know, I was going to use the word miracle, but maybe not miracle, but it did come down near support. And this is a great example of, here's a wide range bar and what we call a 1, 2, 3. You don't do a 1, 2, 3 into an area of major support. That's stupid. If you get some more sideways consolidation or what we call a 1, 2, 3, 4, where it attempts to go up and fails, something like that starts to make sense. But you never do a bearish trade into an area of major support. And so now it's taken out this pivot high. It's moving up. It's still in just a big trading range, but so far right now it's bullish. So the stocks that trade with this, bullish. And a few other things to peek at. And, the transports. Wow. And this is one of them. Right? That looks like there should be some stocks in there that are going to play catch up. So there's this ETF, and then there's SMH, what I think is more widely followed. And that broke out. Here's another Head and Shoulders that we talked about, several weeks ago, and negated that, never triggered. But wide range bar breaking out. It's like it's going to go higher. Software, some software stocks, uptrend, retesting pivot. Take a look at that. Microsoft actually got alert this morning. This is unchanged. This looks like it's going to pop. So what could continue to drive this market? Underperformers. So, I mean, it is near this pivot high. There's buying on the dip. So that looks like it could go higher. And if you use scanning software that we use, TC, all you need to do is click on that, and it loads all the stocks in a separate minder and all the scans that we put together, which we share with subscribers. You can find wide range bars, bullish 180s, bottoming tail bars, pullbacks, so on and so forth. So yeah, most things are looking good. And one thing that it's interesting here, look at the financials. I mean, they're not going anywhere, but I would keep an eye on these by just, all you need to do is just set an alert, because if they break down, I don't think that's going to be healthy for the market. But if they should flip up from here and start to rally, that should add a little bit more fuel in the tank to go higher. So watch the underperformers and see what they do. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. I was shocked at the strength leading into the shutdown, and then yesterday's negating the gap down. But we trade the charts, and we're very bullish. Posted a ton of positions. Finally got a ton of credit spreads. It's been a rough couple of weeks trying to find them with low volatility and spreads and weeklies and all of the negatives, but we piled on yesterday and they look great. And pre-market, I just posted on a bunch of new trades again. Here, if you got in here late, I posted this on Telegram last night. I went through them this morning, made a couple of them official. Let's look at them. Carvana, not crazy about a directional, but put spread, some bear sandwich breakout. Avgo, buy, setup, and turn, daily, weekly. That's gapping over the entry. Let me actually sell weekly. If any gapping over entry, good to go is filled. So that would include Amco. Bye-bye. I posted a long call. Gapping over the entry. Ford, I posted long calls. That's a continuation breakout. BMNR, still not ready, but I've been watching this thing for about a month or so. So let me reset I keep resetting the alarms. So now it's 5440. Alarms. Paul, we're in the ETF letter, gapped up, looks great. TMC. Somebody in the room gave this to me yesterday. I shorted puts on it for tomorrow and for next week. But I said if we get a 1, 2, 3, could be a directional target up to $8. Netflix, low alarm. We actually shorted a call spread on this, so I tightened the stop here. Let me give that to you. Oh, and then AMD, I tightened the stop. So for you all who don't get our Telegram, and you just follow our things in here, it's fine, but it's your risk. You could miss. So look at AMD. Look at a beautiful gap up, and that was on my directional list too. So that I'm mad about. So look at AMD. This was a directional bottoming pattern. Look at the MAs. We have a put spread, which I just adjusted. So gap's not that excessive. So let's watch this on a pullback. Let me put it in this bottom right here. Tesla. Oh, Tesla, we're out of. We had a put spread that we took our money yesterday, but we kept it on our list for directional, and now the gap's messing it up. I think I saw something on the headline that they reported deliveries, so that that could be the excitement. ACHC. I sent a telegram to kill this thing pre-market, break even. I didn't like the little breakout failure there. BTCS, we bought yesterday on a pullback, up alarm, bottoming pattern. That's fine. SMCI we bought yesterday. This was our best performer. We only have a third left because we had amazing gains. And look, It's opening flat. It's opening flat. And that does not mean relative weakness. It means it's tired. And so that does not surprise me one iota. Our stop for the back third is under this intraday 15-minute pivot. Thing. Elon up alarm. We're in trail mode. Gapping up. Looks great. Stops under this 15-minute pivot. I'll probably move it to 30-minute low. We'll see. NDSM. We're just watching the top of the range here. All right, those are all the alarms. Earnings. We don't have any earnings. It's actually one gold stock. I forget. Ango, maybe? Yeah, Ango. All right, 12. Wow, 1270. That's a month. Ah, man, remember Alex in the room yesterday? I came close to buying a bull call debit spread. I was going to do the 10, 12 and a half for $1.10. That would have been a great payoff, but it's a nice pattern. Daily, weekly, monthly. Look at that monthly. It's a beautiful bottom. And the gap's too big. That's a big old gap. What is it, like 15% gap? We're still in silver in the ETF letter. Look at that new high. Incredible. And I can tell you the exact day we got into this thing is right here, 828. So see, I love getting into trades at the right technical time. And then and then people ask me, oh, Dan, what about buying way up here? Well, wait for a pullback because it came out of consolidation. All right, this BTCS just went off. Nice. Now we can move stock break even on this. I love moving stock break even as soon as possible. It takes away so much stress and makes the trade easy to manage. So, and that's exactly why I have that alarm there. Because in my head, I was saying that if it trades there, then it's time to move it break even. Give me a second. We got a lot of great opens and just go do everything on my list for today. Spreadsheet here. Raul, VMI. Uh, VMI for Raul. Yeah, love it. Yeah, love it. Why do I love it? Downside shakeout, rising moving averages, a 1, 2, 3, a little bottoming tail, continuation, closing breakout. And a little bit of light volume. My 15-minute is spotty. Gapping up $1 or so. A beautiful pattern roll. Well, yeah, that's fantastic. In fact, I'll put that in this middle one then. Tolly, that's about SRPT. It's sloppier. I mean, it broke out. topping tail. Look at all these overlapping bars. It's more of an $18 put spread candidate, and also therapeutics. Sounds like a bio, so you got to be careful on that. I like all our trades so much better. Let me show you some more trades that we posted. And I actually told Greg last night, Mike, look at it. I got too many here to post and manage. And he said, "You're right." But look at Amazon. If it can get over this, it's a W bottom reversal for a put spread. Abgo we talked about. Roku we talked about. Or no, Carvana we talked about. Roku. Look at this. This would be an ideal 1, 2, 3. That's a closing breakout, bullish weekly, monthly, both for directional and put spread. Looks great. Bud, gap breakout, but it's an ADR, so I'm gonna wait 30 minutes on that. Stalled. They can get over yesterday's high breakout. So I gave that as a 135 put spread, 2 weeks expiration. Because directional, it's just sloppier. But you got a 1, 2, 3, you got a closing breakout, so that's very juicy. Put on a put spread. EVLV, Sam gave me this yesterday. So bear 1, 2, 3 breakdown from a big old topping pattern. I like the fact that it's actually opening flat. My bad. But yeah, I gave long puts in this. Bye-bye. We talked about a Netflix low alarm. Awesome. We have a call spread. Actually, let me check the premium right now. We sold the 1230. Wow, spreads are nuts. Spreads are nuts. So let's give it 5 minutes. Eric's Halliburton, up alarm.
Hasn't taken out yesterday's high, Dan.
I always have early alarm. That it allows me time to talk about it and get ready.
Put a buy stop above yesterday's high and a share stop it below 24.
Agreed. That's a pattern I would feel comfortable. Soon making them. Yeah, I got a ton of alarms. Oh, nice. Yeah. Wow, I got too many alarms. See, that's the problem when I'm watching too much stuff.
That is your problem.
Hey, if that's my only problem, then
It's too early for that conversation.
I am in good shape.
For that, we need Alex and Sam on speaker.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, soon looks great. I got AMD pulling in. All right, I got a ton of alarms. CNR. So Alex mentioned this one yesterday. I looked at my open positions and I'm like, oh shit, I'm in this one too. I forgot about it. So, but I just did puts. I'm gonna bid right now. to get out because they're spreading. All right, this stole is hitting. All right, so stole, let me give you the numbers, and then I gotta look it up. I didn't have weeklies, so this goes into the advisory letter. A circle of alarm. But let me check this real quick on stalled because I like to trade a lot. It could, if it did close right, it could be a directional 30-minute high, or definitely if it closes like this. Little 1, 2, 3. This is kind of spready. Stalled. But midpoint right now is 97, and I said $1.10. So I'll go ahead and put an order out at $1.10, tell you if I get filled, and then we might decide to take less. Filled. All right, so sold is filled. I got filled immediately at the 110. So since I'm the guinea pig, you can try a higher. I'm higher. Let me tell them that. Tell Telegram that. Rocket Labs. Okay, that I didn't like yesterday's topping tail. We sold puts on this yesterday. So now we got a beautiful game. We did Rocket Lab. We did a put spread for tomorrow. And the midpoint right now is 18, but it's spready. We did 47s, which look fantastic. I'm gonna bid a dime to get out. Not gonna get filled. All right, thanks, GE. Let me look. I just slammed here with alarms. You know what? We sold this thing for 45 cents. Yeah, remember I said it was so juicy. Let's close half. Like a Netflix tank. Texan, LG. Yeah, I like it. Market coming in here. Wow, diamonds are on fire after being the weakest pre-market. When I saw the diamonds week, I looked at my minder and nothing really jumped out as being a big old drag. But yeah, let's see GE 30-minute low. Just let the market stabilize a little bit. Hey, D-line gap down to zero, even with the gap up. Wow. Yeah, it's going sideways. That's what we want to see. Okay. Let's see. All right, Texan, we did a call spread. I had up alarm. TMOS